And a very good Wednesday morning to you. Welcome to Breakfast Primetime News on MTV Sports. I'm Shahan Jurangpati. First, we'll take a look at your headlines. President Mahinda Rajapaksa requests Sri Lankans abroad to protect the country's image. Former Armstrong teammate admits to doping. Now for the stories in detail. Today is the final day of the World Energy Forum in Dubai. The event to conclude the forum will be held today at the Dubai International World Trade Center. President Mahinda Rajapaksa also met a group of Sri Lankans yesterday.
Meanwhile, President Mahinda Rajapaksa also attended a dinner hosted by the leader of Dubai. A number of items added colour to the event. The dinner was held to announce the World Energy Day.
The Ministry of Health has decided to recruit 6,000 individuals for the nursing service. Deputy Director General for Training and Research at the Ministry of Health, Sunil Alvis, noted that those who have passed in biology at the GCE Advanced Level Examination will qualify for the post. Well, still in local news, Minister of Industry and Commerce Richard Bathuddin says that Sri Lanka supplies close to 80% of the global requirement of cinnamon. The minister expressed his view at an event held in Colombo yesterday.
The launch of the project enhancing competitiveness of cinnamon value chains in Sri Lanka was held in Colombo yesterday. A group including Minister of Economic Development Basil Rajapaksa attended the event.
The Export Development Board is now targeting $1 billion pure sugar cinnamon export revenue by 2015. Sri Lanka contributes to 70% of world's production of real cinnamon, and our own pure cinnamon brand is meeting more than 80% of the real cinnamon demand in global markets. Our annual production is approximately 60,000 metric tons. In 2011, we exported cinnamon to the value of $121 million. And this volume was observed by no less than 40 countries.
Well, still in local news, 2 army soldiers who drove a 3-wheeler without adhering to police orders in Girandurukote have been arrested. Police had ordered the 3-wheeler that the soldiers in question were travelling in to stop last evening. The police noted that the 3-wheeler had continued to travel without heeding to police orders, and when the police managed to stop it and inspect it, the soldiers had attempted to attack the police officers. Now the police have located a hand grenade in the possession of one of the soldiers. The 2 soldiers who were arrested will be produced before court. Well, now moving overseas, U.S. presidential candidate Mitt Romney and running mate Paul Ryan campaigning in Nevada yesterday, echoing the line of attack employed throughout 3 debates against U.S. President Barack Obama, accused the president of lacking a clear agenda worthy of another 4 years in office.
That man is right here. His name is Mitt Romney, and he's going to be the next president of the United States. Attacks on me are not an agenda. The president, we've gone through 4 debates now. We've gone through 4 debates with the vice presidential debate and my debates, and we haven't heard an agenda from the president, and that's why his campaign is taking on water and our campaign is full speed ahead.
Meanwhile, U.S. President Barack Obama warned voters yesterday that Republican rival Mitt Romney cannot be trusted to deal honestly with the public as the presidential campaign shifted from televised confrontation to a frantic dash of votes. The latest polls show that 47% of registered voters judged Obama for victor of the debate, while 31% thought Romney won. However, the poll indicated that the debate did not affect either of the candidates' favorability ratings. Obama's favorability rating is holding at 57%, while Romney is at 54%.
That the person who's applying to be your president and commander-in-chief is trustworthy, that he means what he says, that he's not just making stuff up, depending on whether it's convenient or not. His foreign policies from the 1980s, before the Cold War was over. His social policies from the 1950s. And his economic policies are from the 1920s. He knows he can't sell that, even though those are his positions. So, in the closing weeks of the campaign, he's doing everything he can to hide his true positions and tell us what he thinks you want to hear, and then spend most of his time telling you what he thinks is wrong with America.
Well, in more international news, Israel killed 2 Hamas gunmen in a Gaza Strip airstrike yesterday, which the military said targeted a squad preparing to launch rockets into the Jewish state. The Air Force operation followed other Palestinian attacks, including a bomb blast that wounded an Israeli army officer patrolling the Gaza border on a day that saw the isolated Hamas-governed enclave receive its first foreign head of the state, the Emir of Qatar. Hamas said 2 of its gunmen were killed and another wounded in the airstrike in northern Gaza. It did not comment on Israel's allegation that they had prepared rocket launchers. The border bombing was claimed by the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, one of several small militant factions in Gaza that often operate independent of the dominant Hamas. Well, now in sports news, Felix Baumgartner, the Australian daredevil who leapt into the stratosphere from a balloon near the edge of space 24 miles above Earth early this month, says that he wants to move on from his life of stunts and is looking forward to a career as a helicopter pilot.
Well, I think it's time to move on. I mean, what I really want to do in the future, and we already did with this project, to inspire the next generation, because I would love, maybe in 40 years, some young guy is calling me up and saying, hey, Mr. Baumgartner, I need advice just because I want to break your record. The next couple months, years, I'm going to work, I wanted to work as a helicopter pilot. I always had 2 dreams when I was a little kid. The first dream was becoming a skydiver, which I did when I was 16. The second dream was becoming a helicopter pilot, but I could never afford to take some lessons. So in 2006, I did my helicopter license. I'm a commercial helicopter pilot right now, and I'm working on my skills. And in the future, I'm going to put my knowledge and my skills to public service, working as a firefighter, working as rescuing people from mountains. And again, I'm in the air. It's dangerous, and I love to be in there. It's like my second home, and this is where I belong to.
Yeah, that's really high. How small you are. I'm going over. Jumper away.
Baumgartner set a record for the highest skydive and broke the sound barrier in the process on the 14th of October when he jumped from a skateboard-sized shelf outside the lawn by 8-foot fiberglass and acrylic capsule that was carried higher than 128,000 feet by an enormous balloon from a launch site in Roswell, New Mexico. More than 8 million people watched his feat online as his body pierced the atmosphere at 833.9 miles per hour, according to preliminary numbers released by the project team.
And Felix is back to Earth safely, the new world record holder.
Well, moving on to more sports news, former Norwegian cyclist Stefan Kjærgaard, who competed with the disgraced Lance Armstrong on the US Postal Service team in the Tour de France in 2000 and 2001, admitted to doping yesterday.
Kjærgaard said he began using banned substances, primarily EPO and cortisone, in 1998. As a result, he had some good reasons and he joined the US Postal Service team. When I was part of the US Postal Service team, everything was organized by the team. I did not need to arrange for a doctor or do anything by myself. Kjærgaard denied being aware of team-wide doping. Armstrong was stripped of his 7 Tour de France titles and banned for life on Monday after the UCI ratified USADA sanctions against the American for taking drugs.
Well, let's now take a look at today's foreign exchange rates. Well, that brings a wrap to Breakfast Primetime News on MTV Sports. I'm Shanjirang Path, and you have a wonderful day ahead of you.